Hello, I'm TrailerSins328, and I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of making a trailer or ripping off the nostalgia critic while not being funny, I'm technically doing both. I'll be looking back at the various trailers I made throughout the years and see how well they hold up, even the ones I made not too long ago. Probably more akin to a TrailerSins video than a nostalgia critic video. When I quit commentary, an old friend of mine, Meta527II, sent me a PM about why he unsubscribed from me, and I felt the need to do a yelling Phalos impression and claiming it to be a Wolf of Cybertron Megatron impression to respond to it. At the end, I left a trailer prototype for you to criticize and enjoy, to see how I did for the first non-teaser trailer I made, which would lead the way for trailers to films that would never be made in the history of existence. This one was for Revenge of the Fallen, The Real Revenge, a fan movie I made a big deal about and wanted to get off the ground for over a year before scrapping it and turning it into a parody of Transformers Prime, and then of Transformers as a whole, crossing continuity families like no tomorrow. Something you'll notice in all of my trailers is the need to be overly pretentious by adding the "this preview is approved for appropriate audiences" screen. We get it, it's a trailer. Is it really necessary? It just adds a couple of seconds to the overall time of the video for no real reason. Unlike in actual movie trailers, where it needs to establish that the content may or may not scare or be inappropriate for little kids.
Cybertron.
You may also notice that you really can't hear Optimus's voice among the push or prelude music I have for trailer music. I guess I thought it was audible at the time, where I could just hear a little better than others. I do like this one due to the way the War for Cybertron intro timed with the music at this part. Trypticon and Omega Supreme, who are epic and awesome and make for great trailer material, but would never show up in Real Revenge because one's a bit too expensive for my taste, and the other doesn't have a figure yet, so note to self, don't include characters you can't use! So, a mediocre first trailer, but I got better over time, right? Now for trailer 2. Look at this! You can't? Exactly! This trailer didn't even bother to change aspect ratios, so it looks really sunken in. And since I was allergic to HD uploading until late 2012, I can't change it for you, lest it look like a giant pixelated mess. As if it doesn't already. Discord. Does he even have a Gmod model yet? Oh, someone made one. Awesome! It was in 2013, so I couldn't have used it at the time. Well, since I suck at animating in Gmod anyway, I really shouldn't have used the ponies to begin with. Besides, I'm not even that into it anymore. The rest of the trailer goes fine, even in spite of using the clip of Megatron just flicking a human to the side like it's supposed to be epic. Until this happens. What the fuck is Street Fighter 4 doing in my Transformers trailer? It's one clip, and I never use clips from that game ever again. And it's not like I was going to use Jury and M. Bison in the fan movie itself. Does Jury even have a figure? No? Okay. And Doctor Who. It's not even a clip of the Doctor! Just Rory punching out Hitler, which, while awesome, has nothing to do with what I was going for. And I ended with a teaser for the dramatic reading of the popular My Little Pony fanfiction Cupcakes, which I abandoned for reasons explained in another video about my videos that I did. Trailer number 3, Real Revenge Trailer 2, since the first one was a prototype. Let's have a look. So instead of push or prelude, I used the 2 Steps from Hell music called Archangel. Good, moving out of the comfort zone. And no, I didn't use any X-Men clips featuring the character that goes by the same name. I wasn't going to be using the X-Men anyways. Extending a scene I used already from the last trailer. It still works, but be prepared to see the same shot several times throughout these trailers. I'm not the most creative mind out there. I thought the fact that I made these trailers from other materials I had no part in the making of showed that already. Good thing I chose the Bruticus clip that didn't show off his color scheme, or I'd be promising the SDCC/Platinum or Takara version when I'm using the G2 version, despite the fact that I'm doing that with my trailers anyway. No need to put logos in the trailer since the companies listed aren't doing this.
Audience gathers for your final failure.
Well, it's not a very impressive audience or that spectacular a failure if it only consists of an army of thieves and the easiest to destroy Shockwave ever created.
This planet will be dark.
thing to note, the quote in black in the army weren't in the original upload in this trailer, which is the one on my channel. That one ended with the Fallen getting his mouth sliced, just a few seconds before he got his face ripped off. This one was on the Fallen's Revenge channel. Now to trailer 4. From the video where I said it'd be changing Real Revenge into Hunt for the Relics, which shortly after that became a parody of Prime in general called Primified, which then became my current planned series parodying Transformers in general called Transformers, Predacon Conquest. Tune in next week when I change it again into Super God Transformers Forever 012 Rising, Modern Revengeance of the Fallen Moon's Uprising Episode 1, Return of the Inconveniencing. Now here, I was trying to tell a story with this one, as will I with the others. Yes, sort of. I imagine the Prime Decepticons fighting on their own against the Movieverse Decepticons and the Autobots as a whole. And I used the Gotham's Reckoning music for this one since my friend, the Dreadnought Mama 1, suggested that I use the Deshi Basara chant in relation to the Fallen, in reference to his plan being his means of rising, if you will. Since Reveal the Shield Lugnut doesn't have any form of animation to his name, I had to use the animated version to represent him. Still sends a false message, though it would be funny to imagine a tiny Lugnut with a helium voice proclaiming how glorious Lord Megatron is.
Face its rocking self, but not become even a grand and glorious plan. Oh, wise and noble Megatron!
I've been lobbing with the Fallen.
I want that to happen! Someone please make an official bulkhead lobbing match with the Fallen! It doesn't matter which one you use, just go do it! And here I used the ending portion of the trailer music of To Boldly Flee, New Glory, which I couldn't just use the whole thing since it costs around $100 to have the license to use it in your productions. I ain't doing that! So I just used the end of the To Boldly Flee trailer since there was no extra audio or sound used in that part of the trailer. I love how well that bit worked out. Let's see it again. Now for trailer 5. The Revengeance Beast Hunter saga begins here.
Humankind has no idea.
Back to Archangel again. Okay. And get used to Predaking, folks. I loved seeing Predaking on the show since it was like every moment he was on screen was made of awesome. So I use him so much throughout the course of the next few trailers you'll practically puke up a dragon. Actually, because of how I edited this, I just imagined the fictional characters fighting on top of the satellite of love while the crew of Mystery Science just questions what the hell is going on, yet never bothering to look out a window or something. White Kieran uses Flamethrower, which looks epic when animated like that, but the next clip is the Nostalgia Critic shooting at something while a fireball passes by him, implying that the epic Flamethrower was nothing more than a fireball. It would have probably been fatal if it made contact. Also, for the Revengeance stuff, it seems that I care not for gameplay heads-up displays, since the epicness of moments usually eclipse the displays for me, even if others are sure to find it distracting. And Vin Diesel. There's no rhyme or reason, just Vin Diesel animated by the guy who animates the two best friends shit. Riding slicing a police officer with blood and crushing his spine to regain health. Hasbro Studios approved.
Let's go.
Let's toss you in at the last second because I forgot to add you throughout the trailer. Note that only a couple of the people listed in those credits were actually in the trailer, and for no more than a second, might I add. And now to trailer number 6. November 23rd happened faster than you think it did. As you may have noticed, most of my trailers tend to be just long action scenes, and this one is the worst offender in that case. There's never a moment when the characters aren't fighting, getting hit, or trading blows with something, as if an action trailer can only use the action. Even Pacific Rim showed some of the assembly of the Jaegers in the trailer before more of the action happened. Though to be fair, the track used in this one, Power of Darkness, doesn't really call for calmer moments. Also, since I only had him in a few seconds at the end of the last one, I used Senator Armstrong for about 35% of this one. I also explored Predaking's robot mode since Evolution had come out around that time.
Who could it be?
Vince McMahon? What? This reveal is so shocking that even Megatron is shocked by it! Megatron's never been shocked by anything in his functioning days. I Predaking! And now for trailer number 7. This one isn't mine, it's Dred's, but this falls under the Revengeance Beast Hunters saga. Actually, to honor that fact, I just analyze it like I did in the old days when he'd pump out one trailer after the other, and I'd keep analyzing them. If Optimus hadn't uploaded one of his own on my channel. See, how did he do that? Did he hack into my... Anyways, let's just look into it. Oh, and the trailer music is called Dark Force Rising by Sonic Symphony. Yeah, we're just trying to top ourselves in absurd use of wrestling clips without even any real rhyme or reason to it. I'm not even that into wrestling and I'm trying to top him in using those clips. Oh, and we both got into Beware the Batman's use of Professor Pig and Mr. Toad. Even if they weren't perfect, we both agreed that they were the best part of it so far. And apparently Simon Stagg is involved in this somehow. And zombies. Didn't he already do a trailer about zombies? And now on to the final trailer, where the series starts becoming a crossover that may cause mental explosions. This one uses the Two Steps from Hell music called Master of Shadows. Wanna know why I went with that one? And no, I didn't use him in this trailer, but he was in one of the previous trailers. So every time Jetstream Sam shows up in one of my trailers, he has to do that shit-eating grin, doesn't he? But how can you not love him when he does it? There's a theme here in relation to the Winds of Destruction. Mistral was in the first Beast Hunters Revengeance trailer for a brief moment, Monsoon was in the next one for a brief moment with an extra appearance in Dred's trailer, and now Sundowner's in this one for a brief moment. And since Senator Armstrong got plenty of screen time in the second one, and Sam's gonna get more in this one, the only one left is... Wolf! Nah, he gets more screen time in this one too. So all that's left is... The Metal Gear Excel! Okay, I'm dragging this joke out way longer than it needs to be. It becomes then, alright? I love how I made it look like Ruby was taking revenge for Predaking beating the shit out of Wheeljack. Like they got to know each other in this film that no one will ever make. And here we realize that Predaking was just a distraction for the kaiju to run rampant! Not like you could tell that. And let's think about this for a moment. As Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Beast Hunters, it's a crossover between Metal Gear Rising and Transformers Prime, of course, as well as Fall of Cybertron, Doctor Who, Two Best Friends, The Nostalgia Critic, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Pokemon, Rosen Maiden, Wrestling, Ruby, Beware the Batman, Resident Evil Pacific Rim, and Gravity Falls. And I instigated most of that. I think they should have an award for least indicative title since Final Fantasy. And speaking of Gravity Falls, the usage of it here, in contrast to the darker settings I use like Revengeance and Pacific Rim, is so drastic it almost makes your eyes hurt. Oh, here, let me skip to the best part.
We fight for justice.
Wait, Kansan technically showed himself here for a brief moment, so there's no need to slap him into the next one, right? If there is a next one. Oh hi, abrupt cutoff in the audio, how's your sex life? So that's all the epic crossover madness I can take. I hope you enjoyed this, and feel free to like or hate me as much as you want to.